Hi all, Namaste, welcome again. So today in this video I am going to cover very important topic, that is overview of SAP MM, that is P2P cycle or procure to pay cycle. It is one of the most important topic in SAP MM. Once you understand P2P cycle, then you can easily understand most of all relevant topic to SAP MM. So P2P cycle is a backbone of SAP MM. So after getting familiar with SAP screen, we will get familiar with SAP MM, that is nothing but overview of P2P cycle. So as you know, various department works together to achieve some common goals of any organization or company. In order to fulfill that common goals, they need some services or materials. So let's say any department, for example production department, need any raw material to produce any final product, or HR need some files or stationery, and so on. Any department may have any requirement. So if any material requirement arises, that time they determine, that particular department determine the material requirement, and they try to approach to the responsible department who can buy this particular material or service. So they approach to responsible department, that is nothing but logistic or procurement, and to approach that material to procurement or logistic department in appropriate way, they use internal document that we know as a purchase requisition or purchasing requisition. So that's where purchase requisition came in picture. Purchasing requisition is an internal document. Once purchasing department receive requirement from any other department, then what purchasing department do in order to fulfill that requirement, material requirement or service requirement, they required who can provide that material. They start requesting, or they find out who can give that material with expected quality, quantity, and with cheap price. So what purchasing department do? They ask for quotation from various vendors or suppliers, and which is nothing but your RFQ. And while requesting quotation, purchasing department set some deadline in order to receive that material or that quotations on time, depending upon the urgency of material or service. After receiving the various quotation from various vendors, purchasing department might ask them for a sample product in order to check quality, and then upon price and quality factor, they finalize vendor. But before that, they maintain all the quotations they received from vendors in their system or maybe in paperwork. Now don't think about SAP, just think about normal procedure, that is P2P cycle. Don't relate it with to SAP. Now later on I will explain it. So now they maintain quotation. After maintaining quotation, what purchasing department do? So they have various vendors, they know who can deliver me with cheap price and expected quantity and quality. So they decide among all vendors that they have, they select appropriate one vendor, and they maintain other vendors as well in case if they need those vendors in future, or if they are not happy or satisfied with the quality and price quotation, they reject those vendors. Now they have vendor, they know material, and they know all required criteria. What they do, they place Purchase order. Purchase order is nothing but the legal document that they send to the vendor with quantity, quality, and delivery date when they want that particular material. So once PO is sent to vendor, then according to the PO, vendor will send the material to the company or plant with material quantity. And once they send that, once vendor send that goods or material from his premises and it reaches to the company premises or storage location, then company responsible person will perform goods receipt, means he have received that goods that they requested from vendor. Goods receipt is all about stock and material. Once goods receipt is done, then they proceed with invoice receipt. So invoice receipt is relevant to the all financial terms. In this, they mention terms, then how much your payment is due to vendor, then what are taxes included in it, and all details. So now once invoice receipt is done, then invoice processing and vendor payments is performed. But note that here invoice processing and vendor payments is not part of procurement team or logistic team. It's handled by finance team. Note that here these three, RFQ, then maintain quotation and deciding vendor, this is one time activity. So once for any particular material you know specific vendors, you have decided specific vendors, then you will not perform this activity again and again. So what you will do next time, you will, once you get requirement and purchase requisition, you will directly perform purchase order. You will not do this again and again. This is only one time activity. So this complete cycle starting from requirement till invoice receipt is nothing but procure to pay cycle or P2P cycle, and all SAP MM and rest of processes around this cycle is nothing but complete MM. So what all those possible processes around this cycle, I will just give you a glimpse, not to read all processes, but let's say when you try to decide requirements, so you create material master data. If it's in HANA, then you have to perform activity of material ledger as well. Then after purchasing requisition, you have to select on purchase requisition approval, then various document type. Let's say this purchase requisition is for subcontracting, then pipeline or standard purchasing. So depending uh, upon request, you will decide what document type this PR should select. Then once you request for quotation, so you get vendor data, and accordingly you maintain vendor, their background settings, number ranges. Then once you have decided on vendors, then before performing your purchase order, you have to maintain various master data again, then tolerance limit, tax conditions, then pricing procedure before performing PO, then printing of those POs, workflow. Then in case you have any contract or agreement with that vendor, then you have to maintain that as well. Then approving those purchase requisitions, then different business process design, let's say stock transfer order or special procurement scenario like shelf life, rebate, all that. Then posting period variants before performing your goods receipt. Then once you have goods received, so you have stock, then you have to decide on your goods movements. Then according to your stock, you perform your MRP, that is material requirement planning. Then you have to manage inventory, so it comes all together, inventory management. I already told you this is only one time activity, so this is first path, but once you have everything, then it's a second path. We have seen SAP P2P cycle normally, so now we will relate this cycle in SAP. So I will show you this complete cycle in SAP, how we will create all these things in SAP. But before that, we require some prerequisite data like material, vendor, plant, company, that I have already created, and we will use same for practice for this P2P cycle. So I will use this material. So let's say we have requirement of this material and we want to create purchase requisition. So what is the T code for purchase requisition? That is ME51N. And always note that in SAP, at least in SAP there is always T codes are in sequence. So if ME51N is to create purchase requisition, then ME52N is to edit purchase requisition, ME53N is to display purchase requisition, and so on. So I will create purchase requisition in SAP, run T code ME51N and press enter. Once you run ME51N, you see this basic three tabs here. So header data, item overview, and item. So we will see one by one. So header data, you can just put any note here. Let's say test P2P or anything, or even you won't put anything, it won't matter. This is again important one. From here we will see purchase requisition, we will select here. Then item overview tab is most important tab. Here we put most of data in case of purchase requisition. So I will put here material that I have created, then how much quantity I might require depending upon the requirement determination. So I will put 10 here for test. Then unit of measure for that particular material. Then when I wanted this material, so I will select appropriate date. Let's say I want this by 1st of December. Then what is a material group for this material? Then under which plant I want this material? Then under which storage location I want this material? Then who is responsible person, that is purchasing group? Then who is requisitioner? So who is requesting this material? He can put his SAP user ID or name depending upon the configuration of the system. So I will put here just test, then any tracking number. Then if you know any vendor, that is desired vendor, or if you know any fixed vendor, then you can put that. If you are creating this PR for second time, if you already have vendor, mean this path. But if you don't know vendors, then you are not going to put these two fields. Then supplying plant, so in this case it's not there. Then for which purchasing organization you are creating this. Then agreement, in case of any agreement is there, so we don't have anything, so that's it. Once you provide all this data, just click here on check. So system will check if everything is all right. I will select appropriate plant and storage here. Your system might not ask this. So see, there is no error in this, but note that once you provided all data, this new tab will appear here. It will give you more detail about this item. Also note that this one item 10 is for one material. You can put as many as you want materials here, but for test I will put only one. Then we will see different tabs here in item tab, some material data. So from system material master data, it will retrieve all detail about that material. So in this tab, then quantities and date. So how much quantity we want, at what date we are requesting, then how much time is plant delivery time, then GR processing time. We can put that, even though we won't put, it won't matter at all. Then valuation tab. So what is the price of this per piece, then what is the total price and all that here. Then here goods received, invoice receipt are required or not, that we can decide here. Then source of supply, in case we have any vendor or if we have info record for this, so we can maintain that. We will see info record and all that details later on. Then if in that material have any other order unit, so we can put, then status. So here for now, once we create this PR, then we can check the status. Then who is contact person, so we can put, but here I have just put test here. Then any additional text or note we want to put, we can put here for that material. Let's say just I will put test P2P PR. Then what is the delivery address? So it picks by default plant address, but in case there is different delivery address, you can change that. Then save this purchase requisition. So once you save this purchase requisition, system will give you here purchase requisition number. You can double click it on it and you can see that. So I will save this purchase requisition number for our future preference because it's required. So here I have created PR. Once I have PR, what is next? I will request quotations to different vendors according to that requirement. So I will use T code ME41 for requesting quotation. So let's see the same in SAP system. So here, yeah. So here I will run T code ME41. You can go by path as well, but I'm covering only with T codes. So once you run ME41, you will see this initial screen to create RFQ, that is request for quotation. So by which date you want these quotations from vendor, so you can put that. So let's say I wanted it by 30. Then for which purchasing organization you want it, you can put it or you may leave it blank, not an issue. Then for which plant storage location, all detail you can fill if you want. If not, then you can directly go ahead. But best way is to always create RFQ with reference to the purchase requisition. This way also you can create, or just provide all required details here and press enter. This way also you can create, but here I will create purchase RFQ with reference to the purchase requisition. So click here reference to purchase requisition, then it will ask you the PR number that I have. So I have this PR number, I will use it. Just provide that PR number here. And if you have more than one material, so you have to provide specific item number, but in my case there is only one item line, so I will provide only one. You can provide plant and all detail, but it's not necessary, as in PR everything is maintained. So once you provide PR number, just press enter or click here. So what system will do, system will retrieve all details that maintained in that purchase requisition, and it will show you this screen. So here you can see all details from that PR. Then select this PR and click on adopt plus details. So system will give you this screen, how much quantity, one bag or 10 each. That material have two different units, that's why it shows that. Then press enter. Yeah, So here you see this screen. Then you have to send these quotations to different vendors. So how you can do, select this line and here you can see supplier address. So click on it. Once you click, you can see these details. So in this case, now I will select various supplier that I have already maintained, put that here and press enter. So system will retrieve all details of that vendor. So this is the one vendor for P2P. Press enter and save it. As soon as you save it, system will create quotation number. So here you can see RFQ number. This is RFQ number. So system has generated one RFQ number, and depending on the communication way with communication media with that vendor, you can either send that email or print to that vendor according to the media through which you contact that vendor. Then this is done for one vendor, but I have to send this to many vendors. So I will do nothing. I will just print in the same screen another. I will just paste another vendor in the same screen, vendor 2 for P2P, and I will just save. So system will generate another RFQ number for the same material detail, that is 02. I will maintain that as well for my future reference because I need that, and the another vendor is 12. So this is 3 vendor for P2P and I will save it. So system will generate third RFQ number, that is here. So I will maintain that as well for my reference. Once we have created RFQ, then so once we have sent quotation, then we will maintain those quotation in system, and to maintain the quotations we have T code ME47. So now we have sent quotation, and similar way if you sent created requested quotations using ME41, so you can edit it using ME42 and display using ME43. Same way now we will maintain quotation. So let's see how to maintain quotations in system with T code ME47. So I will run T code ME47. So maintain quotation screen here. So what we will do, we will use that quotations that we have maintained one by one. So this is first quotation, for which let's say vendor has given us price. Just provide quotation, go in this screen, and here you can see, you can maintain here net price for that particular RFQ. So I will consider here this vendor giving me price of, let's say, 10. Just press enter and save this quotation. So see, quotation is maintained. Similar way I will maintain for second quotation. Let's say for this vendor is giving me price of 10.20. Again press enter and save. This format must be with comma, so point system is different for this. So maintain this quotation and save it. Then similar way I will save for third vendor, third quotation. So for this I will maintain price, let's say 11 as per the vendor's quotation, or let's say 9.50, and save it. So what we did now, we have maintained RFQ, that is our this stage. So once we have vendors, we got their quotations. Now we will decide among these vendors which one is appropriate for us depending upon the quantity that he can provide us as per our requirement. Let's say I want 1000 material per month. So does that vendor have that much capacity? He can supply 1000 materials per month. Then the expected quality, whether this vendor providing me the material as per my required quality. And then third criteria is price. So how to decide that vendors? So let's see how we can decide. So there is T code ME49 for price comparison. So we will see that in system with T code ME49. So I will run here T code ME49. So here it's price comparison. So here we can put our purchasing organization, then quotation, from which quotations to which quotation range here, or in case let's say I have quotations but those are not in sequence, in that case I can click here and I can put my all quotations here, those are not in sequence, and just execute. But in my case all quotations are in sequence, so I will not use this, I will just put sequence there. So my quotations are from 0, 1, 2, 3, and just execute it. So system will compare price and it will give you suggestion as per the price which vendor is good. So see, third vendor given me price 9.50 and it is on first priority, so it got to rank 1, that is 96%. This vendor is on, he giving me to 10, so he got second rank. Then third vendor giving me to 10, 20, and he got third rank. Then system shows percentage of all this. So how system calculate percent? System take a summation of this and divide by number of vendors, and system shows percentage. So once you got this, then you just click on vendor. So system will give you this screen. Here you can maintain details about vendor. So if you are not happy with this vendor, you can reject it. If you want to finalize this vendor, in that case you have to select this vendor here in info update. So what you do, update this vendor with plant, without plant. So here I will select update with or without plant, both options, and tick. So I have selected this vendor, I haven't rejected, and save it. Okay, then what about second vendor? I will keep this vendor also and I will save it. But let's say I am not happy with this vendor, so what I will do, I will reject this vendor and save it. Okay, so now I got vendor, I have this vendor, finalize. Okay, so far I have material requirement, I got vendors, their price, material. So now I got everything, I have vendor, material. So I want to request them that material. So I will ask them to give me that material on particular date. So I will create purchase order for them, and to create a purchase order there is a T code ME21N. So let's see how to use this in SAP system. So run T code here ME21N. Once you run, ME21N, you will see the similar screen like PR, header, item overview, and item. So we will go in this first. You will see all this tab, but only first time. This is the important organization data tab. So for which purchasing organization I am creating this, what is a purchasing group, and what is a company for which I am creating this purchase order. Then who is responsible vendor, so I have selected this vendor. Then for which material I want to create this purchase order, so I have this material, so I will provide this. Then how much quantity I want, then by which date I want this material, then what is the net price of this material, so let's say 9.50 or whatever as per your quotation. Then what is material group, then plant, for which plant I want this material, then for which storage location. Or instead of providing all these, you can directly provide just purchase requisition number here. So I will directly provide only PR number here. Or there is alternative also available for this. You can click on document overview. Okay. So instead of providing all details, you just can click on document overview, and here click here, and you can select here my purchase requisition, and you can directly click on this and it will appear here. But as I already provided here, it's showing me it here. Or you can directly select and copy it, so it will appear here. So you will see that later on, but for now just provide your purchase requisition here and it will copy all data. Okay, then we will see one by one all tabs. So in similar way as I told you in PR, you can create purchase requisition also for more than one material. So here this line item is for one material. If you have more materials, you can provide details here in second tab, and so on. So we will see one by one tab. Then here first tab in header, that is invoice payment term. So when we gonna give vendor payment, so all invoice related terms are here. Then condition, it's all about price, how price get calculated, what are discount there. Then text, in case there are any text, specific text, so it will appear here or we can put here. Then what is the address, so this is the address of vendor. Then communication, so you can put who is responsible person, or his contact details or reference. Then in case of partner, so we will see partner function later on. There is different video available on partner function. Then collective number, then org data we have already seen. Then status, so here we can see the detail of this purchase order as and when we proceed further. So let's say I maintain this PO and I done its goods delivery, so this will get completed everything. But for now it's just in creation state, so it will not shows the details here. Then in code terms, in case of its external I mean foreign vendor. Then this tab we have already seen. Then we will see the detail item details, and remember that as I told you, you can maintain as many as material you want here, and for each tab you have to see details. You can see here, so let's say if we have two material, it will show me another tab here, but for now it has only one. So for this tab it will show all details here. If there are two tabs, then you have to select again different tab and it will show you details here. So let's see all these details. So first one is material data tab. In this you will see all detail about material. Then second is quantities and weight. So how much quantity we gonna order, and if it has certain weight, volume, so all that we can maintain here. Then delivery schedule, all about delivery, when we want delivery and all details here. What is purchase requisition associated with this purchase order. Then delivery, so is there any delivery tolerance allowed or not, is special space shipping instruction, or where we gonna put this stock once it received, and what about the vendors before goods receiving. So we can put all that, what is plan and goods GR processing time, so that we can maintain here. And this is all about invoice. So how we want to proceed invoice, if any tax is associated with this, so we can maintain that tax here and all details. Then condition is all about price for this one item, and in header we see conditions for all items together. So if we have more than one item, then the header conditions will show info for all items, means complete PO. The similar way the text, so we can maintain text here and it will appear text according to the uh, documents that we maintained previously. Then what is the delivery address, it's mostly planned but we can change it. Then confirmation, it will get activated once we save. Then condition control, it's not important. Then retail only in case of retail. Then what other tabs we have, that's pay Incoterms, these are not important. So this is how all tabs we have seen. Then click on check. So there is no any potential error, they all are warnings, so it's okay. So I will save this PO. So system will give you PO number. Just copy that PO number for future reference and I will maintain that as well. So now we have PO as well. What is next? So we done purchase order. Next is goods received. So let's consider that we send PO to vendor and after few days that vendor sent us that requested goods. So to perform goods receipt there is T code MIGO. So let's see how to perform goods receipt in actual system. So go to system and run T code MIGO. Press enter. So this is the screen of goods receipt. So we will see all tabs here. So most important, what we are going to do. So this code contains various activities like canceling or issue goods or receipt or various movements of goods. But in our case, we will perform goods receipt. So select here goods receipt. Always check it what activity you are doing. Then with reference to what we are doing, goods receipt. So inbound, outbound order, reservation or scheduling agreement, whatever. So according to that, we have to select appropriate document. So now we are doing goods receipt with respect to purchase order. So I will select here purchase order. Then here provide that purchase order number that I have already copied. Then its item number, as I told you, if there are more than one items available, so we can put that, but in my case only one item available, so I will not put, or even though I will put only one. Then this is most important here, goods receipt movements. So if you are doing GR, then it should be 101, but In case we are performing any other activity, so these movements get changed according to the activity that we are performing. But for doing goods receipt, I will keep it 101. Then document date, then posting date. So once I have provided all these, just execute or press enter. So system will show me the detail from that PO for this particular thing. So here I can maintain notes if there is any note. It's not mandatory, but it's always good to maintain it. Then here I can see vendor detail as well. So then once I provided PO number, this is most important tab here. So we will see all one by one. So material, here you can see all material relevant detail. Then we have quantity. In this, we can change the quantity that we are receiving. So I have ordered, let's say 10 quantity, but I received only, let's say 5 quantity. So I can maintain 5 here. And also you can put how much quantity you received or delivery note quantity. So 5, then EA, or let's say I will 6 here. Okay, 6 back. Okay. Okay, and then where I want to place this that quantity, in case I haven't provided storage location, so I can put that here. If there is any unspecific unloading point, I can put there, or any specific text I can put there. It also shows you in which bin it will go and all detail. Also this is very important while doing GR, where I want to put this stock for quality inspection, or I want to put in block stock, so no one can use it until and unless its quality get verified, or I want to put in unrestricted, so we can directly use it as in when we want. So we can put that here. For now I will put it in unrestricted use. So this is again important one. And here we can see purchase order related data, and in case this has any partner, so we can see vendor related data. So once you verified everything, just click on item OK for line 1. If this GR has more than one line, then you have to click item OK for each line after verifying all this data. So now I am doing this GR for 6 quantity. Okay, so item OK. Once you do OK, just press enter. So this tick will appear here, and check if everything is okay. So system giving me that 4 bags not received, as we selected 6 only out of 10. Then everything is okay. Then either click on post or save. So once you save this, system will give you this number, that is GR number. So you can save that, but if it's not necessary to have, we can retrieve it from PO, that we will see soon. Then once I have done GR, next is invoice receipt. And to perform invoice receipt, there is T code MIRO. So let's see how to perform invoice receipt in system. So we will run T code MIRO. Once you run T code, system sometime asks you the company code, that is which you want to perform that goods receipt. Then provide here invoice date, so maybe today's date. Then reference, so you can put in reference your name or whatever as per your company policy. I will put PO number. Then here it is most important tab, these two tabs. So out of this is PO reference is more important. So once you go in PO reference, here you will select against what document you want to perform invoice receipt. So in my case I will select purchase order. Also before performing all, here This tab is very important. From this you can select invoice, credit memo, subsequent debit and credit. Accordingly we select that, but for now I am performing invoice, so it should be invoice, then go further. Then it should be on PO reference. Many times we click here and we think like I'm not seeing this all tab here, so always remember to click on PO reference, then provide here PO number. In case that PO has more than one items, provide that item number. Then again here, this is again important tab, so we see all three tabs. So what it means, goods and service item means system will only consider this invoice for goods cost, not his delivery cost. In case that item has different delivery and tax cost, system will not consider, and system will do only this invoice with reference to the goods cost. If you select second option, system will perform invoice only the planned delivery cost and not goods cost. And if you select third, then system will perform this invoice against goods and delivery cost. So select third here, so system will calculate everything. Once I have provided all details, click here on calculate tax. So in case this PO has any tax, system will calculate that as well. So see, system has retrieved all details here. Then check these all tabs, what payment, detail, tax, whatever you have. So you can cross check it in case you have anything extra tax here, or any particular note is there, or you want to put any note, so you can put that. Again go to basic data. Here you are seeing balance, so it is 57. So what you have to do, copy that balance and don't copy this negative sign as it's showing in negative. Just copy balance and paste here in amount. Once you provided that, just press enter, so it will turn into green. So once it turn into green, it means you can perform this invoice. But if you put wrong cost, system will not allow you to proceed further. Let's say I have put 58 here. So see, balance system is showing 1, so it's not appropriate. So it should be 0 always. Balance should be 0. Then save this invoice. So system will generate invoice, but it's blocked for payment. So you can unblock, but this is how we perform P2P cycle. And once you done your invoice, then this invoice will process to the in finance area as I told you. And again we can perform this only once we have everything. Next time we will perform only via way second, because we already have vendor, so we will not perform this activity again and again. This is how P2P cycle works. Once invoice is done, we can check the details about the purchase history in purchase order. And to check the purchase order history, we can run T code M823N. Once we go in M823N, you will see this screen. Here I have created this PO recently, that's why I can see this PO. But if there is different PO, so you can open new PO, just click here and provide the appropriate PO number and press enter. So you can see that PO. In our case it is similar, so you will see the similar one. Then go into header and status tab. In status tab you can see we ordered 10 quantities, we have delivered so far 6 quantity, still to deliver is 4, we have done invoice for 6 quantities. Same way we can check in purchase order history tab in item about the goods receipt number. We can click on that goods receipt number to check that good receipt number if you want. Same way we can check for invoice as well. and it shows all details. So this way we can track associated uh, goods received and invoices here. In purchase order history tab, this tab appear only after performing at least goods received. This is how we can check all details about purchase order history. So always remember, there is a requirement. According to that requirement, we create requisition. With that requisition, we find out vendors and request them for quotation. Then we compare their price and maintain those quotation in system. Then we decide those vendor according to the three criteria: quality, whether he can provide the required quantity, and price. Then once we have vendor, we give them purchase order and ask them to deliver good on required date. Then once vendor sent us the goods, we maintain that goods received and we take that stock in our premises, and against that goods received we perform invoice. And then according to the payment terms, financial team or finance team process their payments. This is nothing but P2P cycle in details. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. See you in the next video. Bye bye.